Hi, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Career Coach Office Hours. Tuesdays at noon Eastern, I spend about a half hour answering questions from people about the job search because I believe that job hunting for a lot of you is more difficult than it needs to be. You're learning by the seat of your pants, and it's not working for you. You see, the skills needed to find a job are different from those needed to do a job. And most of you think as long as I get the interview and recite a bunch of facts about myself, someone is going to hire me. How's that working for you, folks? Not too well, especially in this climate where it's going to get tougher very soon. After all, here it is. I'm recording this on April 23rd. We're coming up on summer vacations, and a presidential election year. And things definitely slow down as businesses try to figure out who's going to be the next president, what's the economic climate going to be like, what's government spending going to be like, things along those lines. So this is the time to really buckle down. It's one of the reasons I created, where is it? Here we go, jobsearch.community, where I have a number of different programs. I added 3 more onto the site because, frankly, you know better than I do what you need. So whether it's you just need questions answered and access to things that you can learn on your own, I've got all my video courses, books, and guides there. Become an insider. You get access to everything. Plus, you can ask me questions. In addition, if you become an Insider Plus member, in addition to all of that, you get access to all my video courses, books, and guides, and you get me on 2 Zoom calls a month. I've got premium service. It's 4 hours of coaching plus all the content. If you need a 30-minute consult with me, you'll get a month of access to the content and a session with me, 60 minutes, a package of 4 hours. Like I said, I've made additional choices because people have been asking me about these. So go to jobsearch.community because it will help you no matter what tier of service, no matter how you hire me to help you, I can do that to be of service to you. In addition, let's see now. We've got me, my LinkedIn profile. I've tried to lay this out differently. It just doesn't come across well. So if you go to linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter and try to reach out to me there, message that you saw this video, or you listen to my podcast, No BS Job Search Advice Radio, which is the #1 show in Apple Podcasts for job search. No show is even close to the number of episodes I've created. I'm coming up on episode 3,000 in the next month or two. I know I'm over 2,930 at this point that I've set up for distribution. So come over to jobsearch.community. Become an insider, connect with me on LinkedIn, watch, because on Spotify it's a video podcast, or listen to on all the other platforms, it's audio only, No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I want to help you. It's really that simple. I'm here to help you. Now, before I start taking questions from people, I want to talk about a lesson that I think some of you might learn from last night's NBA game with the Knicks and the 76ers. Now, if you're a 76er fan, my condolences. You can tell me the game was stolen from them. That's okay. But ultimately on the scoreboard, it has the Knicks winning. To paint the scenario for you, it's 30 seconds left in the game. The Knicks are down by 5, and they are a hungry team, and they're fighting for rebounds. A ball is squirted out to one player who starts to drive to the basket, kicks it out to Jalen Brunson, who hits a 3-point shot that bounces high into the air and through the hoop. The Knicks are still down by 2, and time is running out. And the 76ers try to inbound the pass quickly. There really isn't a lot of room. Some will say that a foul should have been called. A lot of you didn't see the foul that Maxey committed to get open for the ball. The Knicks steal the ball, kick it out to a three-point shooter who knocks down the shot. Eventually, the Knicks win by 3. An amazing end to a game. And frankly, I watched the entire game except the last minute. I thought it was over. And then it wasn't. I woke up during the night to use the bathroom because I'm of that age. And I take my phone in with me and I said, miracle finish, Knicks win. Unbelievable. And it was unbelievable to me. So I'll just simply say, folks, never quit. Always put in complete effort for the totality of your experience. I don't care if it's your work life or your personal life. Giving up, surrendering, don't do it. Try. Fight until the end. You never know what might happen or not happen. You never know how, in this case, Philadelphia turns the ball over. The Knicks wind up hitting a shot and winning. That can be you in your life. So I'll just simply say, folks, keep trying. Give maximum effort all the time. Try to be great. Don't just simply do enough. Be great. Push yourself. Get out there. And you'll be amazed at some of the good things that happen for you. Okay? I'll just remind you, put your questions about job search in the chat so I can answer them live. And if you're on LinkedIn, you see that I put out a message before the show encouraging people, if you have questions for me but can't attend live, send me the questions, mark that you'll attend, watch the replay so that this way you can get answers to your questions, even though you can't be here with me. So I received a number in advance, and the first one is, bear with me. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong item. My apologies. What is the reason that recruiters never give feedback on why candidates are rejected, even when requested? How can candidates best respond to this behavior? So, a two-part question. Why is it they don't get feedback? Now, I don't know whether we're talking about a corporate recruiter or an agency recruiter or a search firm. So I'll try and cover each. With a corporate recruiter, they don't want to get into an argument. Most of the time when people are told, I'm sorry, we chose someone else. But why? I'm so good for this job. You look at me. And it's just a time waster, and they don't want to waste time. It's painful to have to be the messenger for the department that rejected, and thus not getting a lot of feedback from them, having to say things like, oh, they thought you were a little too light for the job, as though this is a weight loss program. Too light? Okay. And the result winds up being they have to be the messenger for the department that's non-communicative, or uncommunicative, I should say. As a result, rather than get into arguments, they don't respond. They hope you figure out that you've been rejected. Now, with agency recruiters or search firms, it's a little bit different. With agency recruiters, it's really simple. They often don't have a lot of real useful information. But why? I'm sorry, the client decided not to hire you. But why? And they haven't really said that. Could you find out for me? Yeah, I can try, but often they won't tell me because, again, they don't want me fighting with them or advocating for you. But why? And it's painful for them. Same thing with search firms. They're assuming you're a big girl or a big boy and can take rejection because they only work with very senior people, and you're there arguing with them about why you're really qualified, and they don't buy it. They don't want to waste their time. So The real reason why recruiters don't give feedback is you're going to argue with them and they don't want to deal with that. How can you best respond to this behavior? I think being playful works. And the version of playfulness you might try is, and I have to tell you a funny story. When I was trying to get my now wife to return a call, she had left a message for me. I returned the call. She didn't respond. A day or two later, I call again, no response. I figured one more time. And I left a message, call me. Don't be afraid. You can call me. You can be playful. Hey, haven't heard from you. I want to be clear. I'm not, if you said no about my candidacy, I'm okay with that. I'd be curious as to why, but if you don't have a reason, you don't have a reason. But I just want to know where I stand. So call me. Don't be, and they'll laugh. Or you can email them and do much the same thing without the singing part, of course, and say, haven't heard from you. It's been 2 weeks. Is it fair to assume that you've chosen someone else? Yes. Okay. Where was that person better than I in the hiring manager's mind? And maybe you'll hear, maybe they'll ghost some more, but ultimately it becomes clear through their behavior whether they're interested or not. So what you do is what I've said. We can't guarantee that they're going to respond, but we can try and be playful and draw them out in that way so that ultimately you get some version of answer. Okay. Here's the next question. Question number 2. A job I was supposed to have a phone interview with did not call at the designated time today, despite them sending a confirmation email to me. Boo-hoo! However, I'm desperate for work. So with that said, should I bother any further with them? Yeah, why not? Why not? Often people get preoccupied. They forget. Someone I have a session with this morning, I've known him for years. He apologized. He was supposed to get on Zoom with me at 10 o'clock. Didn't do it. I sent him a text. Are you having trouble logging on? Are you running late? And he started off by saying, I want to apologize to you. I lost track of time. I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm outdoors right now. And I forgot. Didn't get on. So thank you for the text. And we did a good session with one another. But sometimes they get preoccupied and they forget. You need a job. As you say, I am desperate for work. So being a desperate person, say, hi, we were scheduled to speak on such and such date and time. Didn't hear from you. Can we reschedule for and offer them a couple of dates and times that work for you and see how they respond? If they don't respond, there's a message in that. And you're a bright person. I think you know what the message is. And before I go to the next question, I'm just going to remind you, if you've got a question about job search, put your question into chat so I can answer it live, okay? And we've got more. Do HR departments, let's see now, thoroughly check all information listed on a candidate's CV or resume before hiring them? It depends on what you mean by thoroughly check. A lot of firms will do a background check. They'll do wage verification. They will do salary check, background check, a whole host of different things. Some do variations on that and decide who to hire or reject, as they deal with finalists in the process. So, a lot of firms do it. Some firms don't. There's no way of really knowing. So if you have a concern about something surfacing during a background check, it'd be a good idea to have someone check the reference, pay them a few dollars to do it, and get yourself on board so that in this way, you're not really surprised later on. Okay. Here we go. Another question. Woohoo! Do employers prioritize previous work experience or experience in the same field when considering job applicants? I'm not sure what the difference is between these two. Previous work experience. Well, yes and no. They want to know that you're capable of doing the job. They want to get an idea of how old that information is. So the resume gives them a sense of what your background is, where you did the kind of work that they need you to have done in order for them to think you're qualified. Working in the same field often is what they really want, that you worked in the same field as them, but no matter, not a requirement. And as such, what you want to be doing is always focus on making them happy. So for yourself, as you look at different situations, make them fall in love. No love, no money, no honey. Okay? And again, if you've got a question, put it into chat so I can answer it. And here's the next question. Should I customize my resume for every possible employer? Yes. And some of you are going to go, and start whining when I say that. But the reality is, your standard generic resume is not going to get you as many interviews as you hope it will. Why? Because every job description is a little bit different. That's how it works. As a result, in order to get that interview, what you want to be doing is tailoring your resume, customizing your resume in a way that demonstrates that you're qualified, you're interested and available for a particular role, so that in this way they choose you to ask you out on a date. It's like dating. They want to know that you're a good-looking woman or man, and it's worth their interest in having you. Okay, that's the fact of it. So the next question is it odd to reach out to the recruiter to give an update of what happened in the panel interview? No, it's not odd. Sorry, let's bring up the next one here. It's not odd. It is what it is. You know, you're trying to express yourself to different people by doing what I do, have information there that they think would help them find your background relevant for the role that they would want to talk with you about. So is it odd? Absolutely not. Is it something that can make someone uncomfortable? Perhaps. They do it in a number of different ways. But the long and the short of it is, if you're looking for a job and you haven't been heard from, and they're going to consider you for an offer, well, you want to know about that sooner rather than later, right? So calling them makes perfect sense for you. And if you have to leave a voicemail, as I would expect you would, then just very simply say to them, you know, we met not long ago, and I haven't gotten any feedback from the interview. When do you think I might hear from you about next steps in the process and how we might proceed? So that in this way, you're encouraging them to reach out to you, even if it's to say, sorry, we chose someone else, or we're evaluating other people for the role. We didn't find your background was strong enough for what the department really wants. And you want to set yourself up in a good way as a way of differentiating yourself from others. So let's just see now. I apologize. I'm trying to get back over here and go to the next question. Okay. Is it a bad sign for my job interview if the interviewer says he has some more interviews to do? I wouldn't be sitting there waiting for the phone like a date on Friday night, waiting to hear from her or his boyfriend that I'm going to ask you out. So, if he has more, saying that he has more interviews to do doesn't really mean anything, except he's managing your expectations about when you might hear from them. The correct response for you is to follow up by saying, how long do you think it'll take for you to complete this round? Oh, about 2 weeks. So if I haven't heard from you by, let's say, and you give them a couple of days later, if I haven't heard from you by Wednesday or Thursday, would it be okay if I followed up? Sure, no problem. Great. And there you have it. That's the simplest way to broach it, so that in this way you present well and they understand you and your experience. Okay. And we go on to the next one. What are the most common obstacles that job seekers encountered during their job search? Excuse me for 1 second. And there we go. And how can they overcome them? So let me just put that in the chat. There we go. How can you overcome them? The most common obstacles are no interviews, not doing well on interviews, my resume isn't getting results, they keep lowballing me on offers, things along those lines. Those tend to be dominant criteria for organization or for people to complain about organizations. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry. I need to take a little bit of water there. So the obstacles are no interviews, which means bad resume, or your resume isn't making a case for why you're qualified. Your resume doesn't match up with the requirements of the position, even though you think you are qualified. Those tend to be primary factors. How can you overcome them? Make sure your resume demonstrates a fit for the role. Make sure you learn to interview well. And I'm going to go back to mention jobsearch.community. Become some version of member there. Watch the video course, The Ultimate Job Interview Framework. It is terrific. If you're looking for information about final interviews, I've got a final interview course. I've got a list of all the video interview courses, books and guides, etc. I have available through the site at jobsearch.community. There we go. Go there, join. I can help you. Okay, so how can you overcome them? Learn to interview better, write a better resume, prepare answers to tough interview questions. I've got a book about that through the site as well. Practice will help you get better at everything you do. And unfortunately, most of you go on interviews, and the first time the words ever come out of your mouth are at the interview, and then you wonder why you're not getting hired. It's the way it is. You wonder why you're not getting hired. So I'll just simply say, for you, your job is always to make them fall in love. Thus, no love, no money, no honey. So focus in using, the book is called The Right Answers to Tough Interview Questions. It's available on Amazon too. It's a nice book. You can get it as a Kindle book. You can get it in video form. There's lots of good stuff there to help you. Okay. And we move on. I'm probably going to do one more question after this one. Bear with me 1 second. Why do recruiters, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing my, there it is. Why do you use recruiters in job searching when it makes you more expensive for employers to hire you? Ooh. Well, that's actually a pretty easy question, because from an employer standpoint, they see value in what recruiters bring to them. They think recruiters will screen out unqualified people. Most of the time, they're right. They will reject people on the employer's behalf so that in this way, a lot of time is not wasted in the course of these interviews. That's the fact of it. So, why do they do it? Because it's a time saver for the employer. And yes, it costs a few dollars. So, that's why they do it. They think it will save them time, which translates into saving them money. Okay. And I think this is going to be the last question for today. Why is there no feedback from HR after the interview and weeks are gone? Weeks are gone. Ooh. So, what I would say to you is number one, if you're a person similar to this one who wants to know what their future is going to be like, well, this person can help you get more interviews that'll result in you getting a new job. That's the fact of it. So the long and the short of it is, I'm sorry. Why do you use recruiters and job? I'm sorry. The last question. Why is there no feedback from HR after the interview 6 weeks have gone by? Because there's no feedback from the department. They don't want to misspeak. As a result, it looks like the process is taking a lot longer than you think it should, and thus you're stuck. So when you're stuck, you become a little bit more petulant. You want what you want when you want it. There's no turning back. And you're the one that gets hurt. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman. Visit my website, jobsearch.community. There I have video courses, books, and guides, the ability to ask me questions, lots of different options to help people. Also, I want to mention, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you saw the video and that you like knowing I'm helping some folks. Once we're connected, your network is going to be a lot bigger. After all, I've done 28,000 first level connections at this point. Use one of them. It will help you land something else. I hope you have a terrific day, and most importantly, be great.